Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Everything you need to know about upgrading Microsoft Dynamics NAV in 30 minutes, perhaps less than 30 minutes. I have with me today, I'm actually, let me just tell you, I'm in Zetadocs' office in London, in sunny part of London, of course, in London Bridge. And today we have with me, let me see if it clicks. Yeah, so I'm Jay Tahsildar, Director for Pre-Sales Consulting with Mercurius IT, and Rushain here from Equisys. You perhaps know about Zetadocs as a product better. She's an account manager and she's going to help me today with my webinar. And then in last part of this webinar, she's also going to talk about Zetadocs as a product as well. So without spending too much time on introduction, let me straight away jump into today's agenda. Of course, why upgrade? And offers and incentives from Microsoft available, the GDPR and making tax digital as two drivers to upgrade from the older version of NAV to the latest version. And of course, our fixed price NAV upgrade offer that's on the table. And some of you, of course, have already interacted before on NAV upgrade or any of these topics. So hopefully, if you have any questions, feel free to type those questions in the chat window and we'll try to pick them up today as we go along. Right, okay, so here we are. Those of you who are on still NAV 2013 or older version, you know that's out of support. And in case something goes wrong with your NAV instance tomorrow, Microsoft will not help you to fix the bug because the product is not supported anymore. Microsoft has since, of course, released 2015, 2016, 17, 18, and now Business Central version, and you have a choice to upgrade to the latest version as soon as you wish to. And today's session, really, we will talk about what are the options and what are the reasons that you should really upgrade. And of course, I don't really have to explain the risk that companies, the enterprises would run in case if they are on unsupported version. Right. Moving on. NAV 2013 is, as we all know, is not supported anymore. And there is a link, and I'm quite happy to share the slides later on with you. There is a link to Microsoft's lifecycle policy, which would talk about various different versions which are still in support and their roadmap going forward as well. And 2013 R2 and earlier versions are not supported. And in case if any one of you who are still on the older version, just let us know and we'll talk about the details. As far as the software upgrade itself is concerned, you pay something called BREP, Business Ready Enhancement Plan, which is nothing but your annual product maintenance that you pay to Microsoft, which is typically 16% of your original purchase value. As long as you pay that 16% BREP to Microsoft through your partner every year, you would get the latest version of software whenever you want to upgrade free of charge. Of course, if you stop paying that BREP, then you know, or in case if you don't know, let me tell you, Microsoft would not give you the upgraded version of software until you pay the backlog for the years you did not pay the BREP and 3% penalty on top of it, and they'll count the number of days since you stopped paying your annual maintenance. So just a quick poll in case if we are able to run that poll. How many of you are up to date with your BREP payment till date really? So if you are able to see that poll is now open, you can just say yes or no or not sure. So have you paid your BREP or Business Ready Enhancement Plan up to date or not? Okay, so moving on. What's happening in Microsoft world in terms of the upgraded version? So on 1st of October, Microsoft released, some will call it perhaps NAV 2019, but they rebranded that as Dynamics 365 Business Central on-premise version. Of course, before that, on 1st of April 2018, almost a year ago, Microsoft did release Business Central software as a service or a cloud version. But for the existing customers who are on-premise version of NAV, now they have an option to move on to Business Central on-premise license, which is a perpetual license. And because in old days, that license was a concurrent license, Microsoft decided to do a good deal for existing customers because the new license is not a concurrent, but it's a named user license. And the deal that is on the table is you get 2 named users for every 1 concurrent user you have purchased before 1st of October 2018, because that was the date they launched this Business Central on-premise version. So just to make it simple for you, those who are on, say, starter pack, which gives you 3 users, 3 named users, would get 6 named essential users. Those who are on starter pack with extended pack, they would get 6 premium users. So Business Central is available in 2 flavors. One is essential and the other one is premium. You get everything that's available in essential in premium, plus service management and manufacturing management functionality. So they have actually moved around the functionality that was available in starter pack and extended pack, but now you have essential and premium very easily kind of configured. So only service management and manufacturing management would be available in extended pack. Everything else, including warehousing, is available in starter pack, and you get 2 named users for every concurrent user that you have. And of course, full user and limited user would kind of remain in that same order. Full user is now called just the full user, and the limited user is now called team member. And on the screen, you can see a nice look and feel for your Business Central web deployment. Believe me, the backend product still remains as NAV 2018 source code, and they have just deployed that on cloud with the new front end and added, of course, lots of new features as well. All right, going to those who are on subscription license, and subscription license again kind of will convert into premium and essential and team member users. And what Microsoft has said, those who are on subscription licenses would get premium user, named user, for £60 per user per month, essential for £42 per user per month, and team member for £7.50 per user per month. But of course, they have given you an incentive that if you host those subscription licenses on Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud, then you would get a discounted price. And as I've mentioned in my slide here, you would get it for £50 for premium, £35 for essential, and £5.50 for team member. Right. But those of you who wish to go to Business Central as software as a service, whereby you do not wish to actually host that software on your own premise server or any cloud server, then this Business Central software as a service is a very handy service where you absolutely don't have to worry about any infrastructure. As long as you have good bandwidth connected to Microsoft Cloud, you just simply pay per user per month fee for either premium, essential, or team member user. And for existing customers, they have given a 40% one-off discount until 30th of June 2021. So for example, if you decide to upgrade starting 1st of April, you'll have good 2 years and 3 months. The licenses would be delivered to you with 40% discount. Whether it is premium, essential, or team member, that would be decided based on the complexion of licenses that you currently have. Right. I won't spend too much time about not paying those who don't pay BREP, because I know a majority of you are still in support and you have been paying BREP. But this example really talks about what if you've stopped paying annual maintenance or BREP to Microsoft. They simply would charge you 16% for the lapsed years, but 3% penalty for the years you did not pay BREP. I'll also talk a bit more about two main areas or two drivers why our customers in the market are currently upgrading to the latest version of NAV. As you know, GDPR went live last year in May, and starting literally a few days, UK government is making tax digital as a compliant kind of a policy. Now, GDPR and Making Tax Digital, both of them are not supported by Microsoft for any version which are 2013 and lower. NAV 2015 onwards for all versions, Making Tax Digital is compliant, and for GDPR as well. And I have a very good white paper, would be quite happy to share it with you. Those who are attending the webinar today, will share that white paper with you. Uh, GDPR compliance using NAV 2015 and the higher versions is much easier because of the cumulative updates that they have given for you to identify the personally identifiable data for your customers, vendors, or employees on your NAV system. So these two definitely are big drivers, GDPR as well as Making Tax Digital. Moving on. So what if you could avoid all those scenarios and get the latest Microsoft technology without having to pay an arm and leg? Yep, that's really what we are talking about. But with the latest version of Business Central, you're getting lots of new functionality as well, and majority of our customers are moving not to just kind of avoid working on unsupported version of NAV or to get GDPR or Making Tax Digital compliance, but they are looking forward to receiving this much better technology solutions using artificial intelligence, things such as sales invoices predicted overdue, very good functionality available using artificial intelligence from Microsoft Cloud. Um, I'll just talk a little bit more about two more things. Natural language search. The search functionality available in Business Central is as if you're Googling something. You just go and put your text of what you're looking for, and you start seeing basically what are the options available. And of course, I mean, simple features such as copy and paste rows from your NAV or Business Central screens onto Excel. Would be quite happy to demonstrate Business Central either on-premise or software as a service to each one of you if you just register your interest after this webinar. Right. Before I hand over to Roshan to talk more about Zetadocs, let me also talk to you about this fixed price Dynamics NAV upgrade that we have on the table. What Mercurius IT did about 3.5 years ago, when 2016 version was launched, we simply perfected this art of NAV upgrade. We carried out lots and lots of NAV upgrade in the last 3.5 years and took the risk of upgrading from older version of NAV to the latest version of NAV away, the commercial risk away from the customers. And simply by analyzing your NAV object file, discussing with you how we kind of migrate your old customizations on older version of NAV to the latest version of NAV, talking to you how we could replace some of those customizations with standard functionality available in NAV or Business Central, as well as this very new feature called Extension 2.0 that's available now on Business Central and NAV 2018, whereby any customization you still need to carry forward, we move them to this extension so that any future upgrades that you carry out, you wouldn't really get stuck the way you are currently stuck with your customizations on old version of NAV, because that extension remains outside the source code of NAV. So any customization that we do going forward on the newer version of NAV will not be done in your NAV source code. It will be done in something called extension, so that when Microsoft upgrades the standard NAV product, we can parallelly keep pushing that extension onto the latest version, and that would reduce your future upgrade cost also substantially. Now, this is one example that's in front of you. Newitz was our customer who was perhaps one of the first ones who came to us. They were heavily customized, and when they moved to us, actually, our NAV upgrade offer, which was an upgrade, fixed price upgrade offer, was perhaps more than £25,000 less than our competitors' quotation. And this is from their managing director, Nicholas Newitt. The code says, not only did Mercurius beat our existing partners code by a significant margin, they did it at a fixed price, removing our commercial risk. In the end, they guided us carefully through the process and also implemented some great improvements to our business using the new features of NAV 2016. As I said, actually, they were one of our first NAV upgrade customers. And since then, for last 3 years, in UK, if you Google NAV upgrade, we would 99% of the times would come on top, perhaps sometimes above Microsoft as well, organically, not through basically Google paid AdWords, simply because our service of NAV upgrade has become the most popular NAV upgrade service out there in the market today. Right, so we are quite happy to commit our own pre-sales time at no cost to you whatsoever. Analyze your existing NAV system, your customizations, your future aspirations to take on the new standard functionality, and would be happy to actually give you a fixed price quote that we would abide by. Okay, all right. With that point, feel free to write your questions. I'll hand over the session to my colleague. Yep. Okay. All right. Krishan, thank you very much for reminding this. This is a good offer from our partner Zetadocs. So if you request a free fixed price NAV upgrade proposal from us before 26th of April, that's the next 4 weeks, you'll get 10% off any Zetadocs modules that you would buy. And now Rushain will talk to you about the Zetadocs solution itself. It's a wonderful solution. A number of our customers use it, and we highly recommend that. So over to you, Rushain.
Great, fantastic. Thank you, Jay. Thanks very much. Such a great endorsement from you as well. So at Equisys, we produce software to help move away from paper-based finance processes and towards a totally digital office. We worked with, as Jay's alluded to here, with Mercurius IT for a number of years and helped lots of their companies in this regard. And our solution is collectively known as Zetadocs. So what is Zetadocs? It's a rich suite of business process add-ons. It enhances with NAV and Business Central. And we've helped over 5,000 mid-sized businesses to help reduce their reliance on paper. Some of the ways which Zetadocs has done this is by handling and approving supplier invoices, emailing sales invoices and notifications, capturing proof of delivery notes, and managing travel and business expenses. The products in the suite are called Delivery, Capture, Approvals, and Expenses. Zetadocs Delivery is capable of sending batches of documents as PDFs by including personalization, and Zetadocs Capture can be used to scan files, batches of documents, and filing them automatically if required. Within Delivery and Capture, there are 3 different levels of functionality and benefits. Zetadocs Express is the foundation level of document management, and that's within the Zetadocs family. As an upgrade to the Zetadocs Essentials editions brings additional benefits such as delivery of documents into structured archive folders. And our Plus editions also give the ability to automatically capture inbound documents using barcodes and OCR. So today, I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can actually use Zetadocs. You can see it in action to help you to manage some of your finance processes, as I mentioned. So these particular processes we're going to look at today is sales order processing and expense management. So for sales order processing, I will show you how Zetadocs makes it easier for you to capture sales orders and deliver order confirmations, as well as how quick it is to retrieve these documents on screen later. This process involves Zetadocs Capture and Delivery modules. For our expense management, we will do a very quick demonstration to show you how you can submit a cash expense while out on the road. And also this can be instantly approved and automatically entered into Business Central with no rekeying required for your finance team. I'll also show you how you can submit a mileage expense using our Google Maps integration. And this is all done using Zetadocs Expenses. So if I just now move over to our demo. Great, so we're now in the Business Central screen. As you can see, the Business Central layout here. So now I said to you, I'm going to, first of all, we're going to be looking at April. She's in finance and she has received an order via email. So in her emails, she's got an order here. And what I'm now going to do is just take this order, put that straight into Business Central. Under the sales orders. Oop, looks like we've had a... So I'll go into sales orders, as I mentioned. And we will go back into April's email. I'll just drag that directly in there. There we go. Now, here we go. We can see it's over here in the Zetadocs fact box. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Zetadocs fact box. This is where you've noticed that I've dragged the order confirmation, as we can see here. And you can use this with any type of document. So whether that's, as you can see, I've dragged an email directly in there, but if it was from the desktop, I can also just drag a document directly from the desktop into this. Now, this information here will be saved whether you're going to use your network folders or via SharePoint. And all of the information will relate directly to the relevant document type that it's saved into there. So we'll just clear that down there. So that's showing you how you can capture a document, rather clumsily initially, but it is just, you just drag and drop the document in there. So, great. So now going on to look at Zetadocs Expenses. So we're going to set this up with 3 different personas within Zetadocs Expenses. So we've got David, who is a traveling salesman, and he is out and about and he's incurring expenses on a business trip using cash expenses, and we will capture those expenses on the go and for his manager for approval. We've got Kevin, who is going to approve these expenses, and April in finance, who is going to check through these expenses and have them coded correctly and go through directly into Business Central without having to rekey them. I'll just go into that now. Okay, so back into the demo environment. Great, so as I said, first of all, we're going to show you David. Now, David is out and about and he's carrying expenses. Now, usually you'd probably be doing this on his mobile phone. So you can use Zetadocs Expenses on any form of mobile device. For this example, I'm showing you on the desktop, but as I said, it can be done on a mobile phone or a tablet. So David has gone to Pret and for lunch, and he now needs to make an expense claim for this. So if we go to new expense, and this is going to be a payment expense. And as you can see, all the information, you just need to complete the description, which is just a brief description of what that is. So as I said, and the vendor is just going to be the place that he went to, so the shop. So in this instance, it's going to be Pret. And as I start to type, you'll see that it will bring up, it will remember where I've been before, and it will be able to just select it from that. You can see Pret a Manger's there. The payment type, so with Zetadocs Expenses, you can use both credit card and cash expenses. So if you've got company cards, you can add that on as well. So this is going to be a personal expense. Zetadocs Expenses also supports multiple currencies. So on this occasion, this is just going to be in sterling. With Zetadocs Expenses as well, you can enforce spending policies. So you can see an orange box has appeared. This is a soft limit, so that just means that you're able to continue on with the claim, but there are also hard limits that you can put in place, and that means that people need to adjust the details. So you can enforce any spending policies that you may have. So in terms of the GL code, that's already populated because, as I said, with the machine learning, it's able to remember that I've been to PREP before, and when I went to PREP last time, it was for business travel. And it also it will be able to support the dimensions, jobs, and tasks. So all of the information here is mirrored wherever's in Business Central or NAV. So if I was using my mobile phone, I would just take a snapshot of the receipt with the picture from a picture, or I would get a picture from the gallery. But as I'm not, I'll take it from my desktop and just import it. And then you see you've got a great side-by-side view just to make sure all the information I've completed there is correct, and the receipt appears there for you. So I can just save that. And now if I want to demonstrate the mileage, as I mentioned to you, if I just show you that quickly. So again, it's completing the date will automatically appear, and you'll just put a brief description. So I'll just put travel in there. Zetadocs Expenses can support personal cars as well as company cars. So we'll have a starting point of, say, Manchester, and then we'll go to back to our offices. So as you can see, Zetadocs has the Google Maps integration, and that will pull through all of that information for you and calculate the distance and time. So you can also just, you're able to select the return journey as well. Now, I'm not going to complete this mileage, as I mentioned, the actual expense claim for this. It was just an example to show you how it integrates through with the Google Maps and pulls through all the details. Again, you can add the receipt, and you've got the ability to reclaim your VAT as well. Okay, so I'm going back in David's profile, and I'm going to just create a report now. Now, David can choose how he wants to do this. He can do this daily every time he receives an expense, or he's able to do this monthly or weekly, just depending on how he prefers or company policy. So we're just going to add this on. Now, there are some expense claims that I'd set up previously for the demo, so I'm just going to add this one on that we've done for PREP now. Add that on. As I mentioned to you, you can submit this at any time, but you can also submit a number of different expense types. So you can submit credit card expenses and mileage expenses all on one report. It will just show you the different amounts. So the reimbursable will be whatever the cash amount is, but the total expenses can include any credit card payments that you have on there as well. So I'm going to now submit that. So it's just saying that I've got a few warnings on there because I went over the spending policy, and that's going to go through to my manager. You can add an extra line of approver if necessary, but for this reason, I'm just going to send that straight through to Kevin. Okay, so now if you go back to David's home screen, you can see that he has one item waiting to be approved. Now if we go to Kevin, who is at home, and he's received an email through on his mobile phone, and he can log directly through from that email to view the approval that he needs to do. So that will log him directly into the portal. So again, he can approve this at home or if he was out and about. So he'll see the history, what time it was sent and everything that it's come through. And he can drill into that and look down a bit further. But he's also got the option to either edit, if he wanted to change that amount down to in line to the policy, or he can reject this. But he's happy with that. He's been generous today. He's going to approve that. And then approve the whole report. So you've got the option to approve line by line or approve a whole report. So if you didn't want to delay any other payments, if there's just one error on a line, you can just do that. So we're going to approve that, and that will go through to April. So that's all done. So April in finance is already logged in and to the portal. So she'll now see that she has one new task. And this is the report. So again, all of the history is there, so she can see exactly where it's been before, if there were any lines previously rejected. April again has the same right to be able to approve or reject any reports, but April's happy with this, so she's going to approve this. Okay, so now what's happened, the Zetadocs Expenses has communicated with Business Central and created an unposted purchase order, purchase invoice within Business Central. So we can have a look at that here. So you can see that that comes up there, that it's completely communicated directly through to Business Central. And if we go into Business Central and we go into purchasing and purchase invoices, just wait for that to load up. We should see there at the bottom a new purchase order there has been created for David. And that's integrated completely, all of the details into Business Central, ready to be reimbursed. Great. So that's how to look at all the details there. There is just one final thing I just wanted to show you within Business Central, and that's the ability to be able to batch send documents. So we are able to single send, but with using Zetadocs, you are able to batch delivery as well. So while I'm still logged in here, I will show you how to do that. So what we will do, we will go to sales orders there, and we will just sort that. And I'll just select a small example to show you using Zetadocs, how I can do that. Send the confirmation. So a small record. Okay, so what will happen is the Zetadocs delivery box will now come up, and that will pull through all of the information, so the company name, the contact details, the method of delivery, and the template that I'm going to be sending out. We can also consolidate these emails, so we're not sending out several emails to one customer if they've got multiple emails to go to them. And we'll just click OK, that's fetched all that data through. If I go back into my emails, we can see that those sales orders have started to come through. Let's populate those, but here we go, you can see them coming through now. And it personalizes all of the information on there for you. It will include your company logo and all of your signatures. You can set certain rules up if you want to send out additional information. So for example, for this case, we wanted to send out the terms and conditions. You can set rules to send out your marketing information or whatever it may be in that sense. Great. So that was obviously just a couple of processes that you can see using Zetadocs, how it helps you to make everything more efficient. Some others include automatic filing and signing of proof of delivery notes, speeding up dispute resolutions, automatically splitting and securing and scanning documents through, batch delivery of sale invoices you just saw, and attaching the appropriate and additional information. So this will help support faster payments, as well as on-screen approval and collections as well, which is reducing the details in terms of collection management. So if you are interested in upgrading your document or expense management as part of your NAV upgrade, we would be happy to arrange a personalized demo. So I'm not speeding through it like that. So you can see something that's specifically relevant to your business and how it can help your business to speed up its processes and reduce the use of reliance on paper. This is also a great offer for you to understand how Zetadocs works and can meet your specific document needs. If you'd like a more in-depth look at Zetadocs, simply get in touch with Jay or speak to your account manager after the webinar. Great, so I'll pass back over to you. Thanks a lot, Jay, for coming down this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Roshan, and thanks for giving our customers to prospects a good view of what Zetadocs can do. A number of our customers, when they upgrade from old version of NAV to the latest version, they do take benefit of Zetadocs service offering as well. But coming back to upgrade, in 30 minutes, whatever we could cram, I know you have perhaps lunch waiting for you, or you may you may perhaps have to go into other meeting. But please feel free to email me any questions that you may have, or if you want to arrange either the latest version of NAV's demo or Zetadocs demo, just email it to j.t@mercuriusit.com and we'll get back to you. Thank you very much. Graham, any questions? All right, no questions. So I hope we conveyed everything that we needed to convey to you today. So thank you very much for your time. I hope to catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.
Great. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.